So we've got two gins. Both of them come from India. I'm from India. And both of them are distilled in Goa in a copper pot still. So the first handcrafted gins coming from India. One of them is a London dry gin, which is a very typical gin that you would find anywhere else. Very clean, very citrusy, juniper forward. Whereas the other one is called Hapusha. Hapusha means juniper in Sanskrit, and the juniper that we get from here is from the Himalayas, right? And it's the only gin in the world that's made with juniper using, juniper coming from the Himalayas, and all the other botanicals come from India as well. Things that people haven't seen before. Things like turmeric, which in Italian is called curcuma. We've got Gondoraj, which is a lime, very old style kind of lime coming from Calcutta. We've got cardamom, of course. We've got almonds and mango. Again, something that people are not used to. So Hapusha is much more characteristic of India, whereas Greater Than is a nice, clean London dry style that comes from India as well. We were bartenders and we ran a couple of bars, and it was strange for us that there was no gin coming from India made from all these spices and herbs that we have available to us. In fact, there are many herbs and spices that are exported out of India and used by others to make gin. So it just made sense for us to use our own. And when we started distilling, and we will talk about the process later, but for us the biggest inspiration was botanicals. We felt a gin from India was missing. The fact that everywhere else in the world, you've got, you come to Italy, you go to the UK, you go to Spain, every 5 kilometers there's a new gin. Whereas in India there was zero. So for us it was very important to make a gin that represented India and represented all the herbs and spices that we had. You walk into your mother's kitchen, any kitchen in India, and we see so many spices, so many characteristics that we would like to represent. So actually the biggest challenge for us has been not representing some of the spices, keeping some of the spices out. We didn't know anything about making gin. When we started, we were, like I said, we were bartenders, we were behind the bar, so we knew how to drink gin. We didn't know how to make gin. So for us, it was starting from scratch. We got a lot of help. We actually, my house has an extra room. So in that room, we're not supposed to say this, but in that room we put up a small glass lab still and actually distilled everything we could find. Just walked into the kitchen, cinnamon, cardamom, clove, everything we just distilled separately, and then we had lots and lots of distillates over 1 year, and then we started mixing them together to see what worked, what didn't work, and then eventually over 2 years we came up with the recipes that we finally like. Both the gins, for Greater Than and for Hapusha, it's very different. Greater Than is a classic London dry gin, and hence it goes with any of the classic cocktails. So you can make a gimlet, you can make a martini, you can make any classic gin cocktail. Of course, not a lot of people know that the gin and tonic was invented in India. So for that reason, I will say actually make a gin tonic with the Greater Than, right? And when you make a gin tonic, use a light tonic water, something like the Fentimans or one of them. And with that, you can garnish it with an Italian lemon. If it's the daytime and it's nice and sunny as it is today. Otherwise, if it's the evening and it's a nice cool place, put a sprig of rosemary in there. Right? It just brings out all the spice notes from that. It brings out a little bit of the ginger as well from Greater Than. Now, with Hapusha, I will say go totally different. Serve it just by itself, have it neat. I leave a bottle in the freezer all the time at home, so literally just take it out, open it, pour in some from frozen gin into the glass and drink it straight. It's a nice naked martini. Otherwise, you can make a nice Negroni with it. Very, very simple, very Italian as well, or a martini. I think anything which is spirit forward, which doesn't dilute the flavor, the very unique flavor of Hapusha, is what works.